Last month's European elections were notable for the surge in support for right-wing populist parties, with Marine Le Pen's victory in France and the growing support for AfD in Germany forcing us to confront a Europe enthralled to the far right. As a result of these huge gains, the coalition of far-right European parties now sits as the third largest bloc in the European Parliament. Europe's right has already started celebrating, with the leader of Spain's new right-wing majority party hailing the beginning of a new political cycle. Rather than attempting to combat the rising tide of fascism directly, mainstream parties have repeatedly platformed extreme talking points in an attempt to win back voters rather than presenting their own inclusive vision for the future. What were once fringe policies have now become normalised to such an extent that swathes of European politics are dominated by anti-immigrant, anti-green and anti-welfare values. Ursula von der Leyen's European People's Party, for example, opened its election manifesto with a commitment to protecting Europe's Judeo-Christian roots, a dog whistle which plays directly into racist tropes. What does this matter to us? What is happening in Europe is not an isolated event, rather it highlights the perilous situation we are in coming up to in this year's general election. The right's rise in Europe and the UK is a real threat, but just as worrying as any number of seats being won by Germany's AfD, France's National Rally, or the UK's Reform Party is a capitulation of the centrist establishment, so desperate to maintain their hold in government that they will parrot whatever racist, homophobic, and misogynistic talking points they think they can get away with. Under Starmer, Labour has portrayed its move to the right as a necessary step in winning the election. But what use is winning the election if they are not also brave enough to stand up for their beliefs? Instead, Labour have become so worried about upsetting the right that they are standing down their candidate in Clacton, clearing the way for Farage to finally enter Westminster. In the end, as always, it is the people who suffer. We are left without a feasible opposition party which will work for rather than against the betterment of our society, and our world will be all the more meagre, cold and isolated for it. We deserve a politics which fights for all our futures, not merely for short-term political gain.